My name is Raya.
Well, Raya is finally available to watch for all users of Disney Plus at last. What? Do you really think I would pay extra when I knew I'd see it for no extra charge if I waited? Besides, you pay way too much for Premier Access. It's cheaper for us to go to the cinema, minus any snacks or drinks. Besides, if I'm paying £20 for a film, I'd rather have it physically so I have it, instead of a wisp and no extra benefit bar an early watch. It's not like paying for a premium subscription. You have to pay that for each new release. Regardless of certain business practices, we're here to have a quick chat about Raya. So, 500 years ago, the land of Kumandra lived in harmony with the dragons, but all that changed when the Droon attacked. The Droon changed everything it touched into stone, and many a dragon fell trying to fend off the evil mist. The last dragon, Sisu, concentrated her power into the dragon gem, and the Droon were fended off, but Sisu went missing. The world, instead of uniting over Sisu's sacrifice, split into 5 kingdoms: Fang, Heart, Spine, Talon, and Tail, fighting over the ownership of the gem. Chief Benja of Heart and his daughter Raya are the protectors of the dragon gem. The other 4 kingdoms are invited to Heart in hopes of becoming Kumandra again. Raya meets Namari, Princess of Fang, and they become friends over the feast. Raya unthinkingly takes her new friend to see the dragon gem, but is betrayed. The gem is broken into large shards, with the chief of each land taking a piece before running off as the Droon are released. Benja throws Raya into the river to save her from the Droon, before becoming stone himself. 6 years later, Raya has grown up searching for Sisu and finds her in Tail, where she learns that Sisu did not make the gem herself. However, when she touches a piece, she gains the powers of one of her siblings who did make the gem. The rest of the film follows Raya and Sisu acquiring the other pieces of the dragon gem, while meeting new companions in Boone, a child business owner, Noi, the con baby and her Onji, and Tong, a warrior of spine. Along the way, they have to contend with Sisu's trusting nature, as well as Namari pursuing them. It was a very vast and creative world, so it's a shame that we didn't spend much time in it. Evidently, as we're late to the party, I've heard many people make the Last Airbender comparison, and I do see where they're coming from. In a sense, yeah, Raya is a lesser Avatar, but we have to remember that Raya is only a movie that's just under 2 hours, so no way in hell could they have done what they did as well as Avatar would have in the 3 seasons it had. We can't exactly explore all of the kingdoms in depth, we can't even get to know the side characters well enough, only what snippets and dumps we get in conversation. Tong was certainly a victim of this since he was the final companion. The most we get is he's a warrior, lonely, and likes babies, and lost his wife and child to the Droon. It's bits, and I guess enough, but he just doesn't get enough screen time as the others for it to feel like enough. Tail and Spine are also the most undeveloped areas, as we barely see them or much of their people. I think people would have complained, though, if they made the film with no big resolution ending in sight, and would have only praised the series of films when it came out completed and free to binge in one go. I think they did well with what they feasibly could squeeze into this film. Luckily, it didn't take too long to get past the setup and into the main part of the film, Sisu and Raya getting the pieces of the dragon gem. Or if it did, it certainly didn't feel like it. From a lot of the marketing, I assumed that it would take some time before Raya even found Sisu, so I was happy that it was resolved quickly. Speaking of that marketing, hoo boy! So I loved the trailers, but I was obviously put off by some of the, kiddie humour.
Look how close my butt is to my head!
And the side characters of Boone and Noi the con baby, I wasn't so convinced by either. With Boone, I was like, oh great, another cocky and flirty boy character, and Noi was just a weird idea, and yeah, I wasn't so into it. In the actual film, though, it was different. Boone, while cocky at points, was a pretty compelling character with a lot of depth, and that makes sense since he's the side character we're around the most. Noi, again, while weird, was interesting enough, even if the chase scene went on a little too long for me. Sisu's humour certainly came off better in the actual film than in the trailer. One point of criticism I would fault the film for is this. A lot of the time, the characters speak in a more modern way than I think they should be, given the setting. The biggest faults for me are Dragon Nerd and Sisu Fan Necklace. Like, they could have said Dragon Expert for one, and in regards to the necklace, did they really need to add fan into it? Hey, I'm the one with the Sisu necklace. I clearly like dragons more than you. Sounds a little better to my ears. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who picked up on Sisu's group project line. While it effectively explains her role in the creation of the gem to modern audiences, it doesn't fit in universe. It kinda wasn't needed anyway, since they retold that bit later in the film when Sisu takes Raya to heart to show her her siblings and explain what happened that day. Sisu could have just left it at that. I didn't make it, I just used it, my power is just being a good swimmer. I suck at magic. Well, evidently Dragon and I would recommend watching the film when you can. It's an interesting romp, even if it can leave you feeling a little unsatisfied. The animation, of course, is gorgeous, as most recent Disney films are. I'd love to see a sequel movie or TV show set in this universe. It definitely has the potential for it. Apologies for the sound in the background, that's the fan. But regardless, thank you for watching, like and subscribe. Let us know what you thought of Raya if you have seen it. It'll be interesting to see if our opinions are the same or differ a little. Here is the link to our wonderful Patreon. Please consider supporting us there. If Patreon is a little too much for you, ta-da! We have made a Ko-fi. Be sure to help the tea wench in providing the dragon with as much tea as possible to quench her. Lime out!